Hello. I'm really glad you're here tonight. This hour is different from the rest of the day. It doesn't ask you to decide anything. It doesn't ask you to perform or explain or keep up. It simply invites you to lie still and let your thoughts move at their own pace. As the years pass, nighttime becomes a kind of companion, a place where the mind is free to wander without interruption, where memories return, not urgently but patiently, where understanding settles in quietly without needing words. Later in life, the mind doesn't race the way it once did. It reflects, it revisits, it connects dots that once seemed unrelated. And it does this most honestly when the lights are off and the world has gone silent. This space is for those thoughts, the ones that don't surface during the day, the ones that arrive only when you're alone with yourself, resting, remembering, and gently making sense of a long, lived-in life. So take a slow breath, let your body soften into the bed, and allow this night to meet you where you are. And now, before we begin, if this kind of honest, gentle reflection speaks to you, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And down in the comments, tell me where you're listening from and what time it is where you are right now. There's something comforting about knowing we're all here together, scattered across time zones, but united in these late hours when the world finally grows still. So settle in, adjust your pillows, find a comfortable position, and know that for the next hour, you're not alone in whatever wisdom you're carrying, whatever understanding you've earned, whatever truths rise to the surface when the lights go out. Let's begin. Your head rests on the pillow now, the same pillow you've rested on countless nights before, but tonight feels different somehow. Tonight, the quiet holds a particular quality, a softness, an invitation to speak truths that daylight doesn't always allow. Pillow talk. You know what that means. You've lived long enough to understand the intimacy of it, the vulnerability, the particular kind of conversation that only happens in darkness, in horizontal positions, when defenses are down and the day's armor has been removed. You remember the first time you experienced real pillow talk, not as a child being tucked in, but as a young person sharing space with another young person. The whispered conversations that felt like secrets even when they weren't. The feeling that nighttime conversations somehow mattered more, carried more weight, revealed more truth. Back then, pillow talk was about dreams for the future, about possibilities that seemed endless. You'd lie there in the dark, talking about who you'd become, where you'd go, what you'd accomplish. Everything felt possible in those nighttime conversations. Everything felt within reach. The person beside you believed in your dreams, or maybe you just believed they did. Either way, their presence made everything feel more real, more achievable. You weren't just fantasizing alone. You were building futures together, even if those futures never materialized the way you imagined. You talked about fears too, in those early pillow talks, the kind of fears young people have. Fears about being enough, about being chosen, about whether you'd figure out how to navigate the world successfully. Those fears felt enormous then. They consumed you. But lying there in the dark, sharing them with someone made them smaller, more manageable. The pillow absorbed so much in those years. Your tears when relationships ended, your laughter when joy was too big to contain, your whispered confessions about things you'd never say in daylight, your questions about whether you were doing life correctly. The pillow witnessed all of it. It held your head through every conversation, every silence, every moment of connection, and every moment of loneliness. You learned what intimacy really meant during those pillow talks. Not the physical intimacy, though that was part of it, but the emotional intimacy of allowing someone to hear your unedited thoughts, your half-formed ideas, your vulnerabilities. You learned that some people could hold that intimacy gently, could honor what you shared, could meet your vulnerability with their own. Those were the pillow talks you remember most fondly, the ones where you both showed up honestly, where you both risked being fully seen. But you also learned that some people couldn't handle that level of honesty. Some people used what you shared against you later, turned your nighttime confessions into daytime weapons, made you regret opening yourself in the darkness. Those experiences taught you to be more careful, to protect yourself better, to recognize who deserved access to your pillow talk and who didn't. The pillow holds all of those lessons now. It remembers every conversation, every person who shared this space, every truth that's been spoken, and every lie that's been believed. Your pillow has changed over the years. You've replaced it multiple times. Different fills, different fabrics, different levels of support as your neck required different things. But the concept remains the same. This is where your head rests. This is where thoughts emerge. This is where the day is processed and the night is experienced. You're more selective now about pillow talk. You don't share this space casually anymore. You understand its value, its sacredness. You know that allowing someone into your bed, into your pillow talk, is granting them access to parts of yourself that deserve protection. If you share your pillow with someone now, it's because they've earned that privilege, because you trust them with your nighttime self, because you know they'll handle your vulnerabilities with care. Or maybe you sleep alone now. Maybe your pillow talk is just with yourself. Maybe the conversations happen internally between the different parts of yourself that need to communicate. There's a particular kind of pillow talk that happens when you're alone, when there's no one else to whisper to in the darkness, when you're both the speaker and the listener. You talk to yourself differently at night, more honestly, more gently perhaps, or more harshly, depending on what the day has brought. You process your life through this internal pillow talk. You review your choices. You question your decisions. You wonder about the paths not taken. You forgive yourself for mistakes, or you don't. You celebrate small victories that no one else noticed. You acknowledge fears that you'd never voice in daylight. The pillow receives all of it. Your head pressed against it. Your thoughts flowing into the quiet darkness. Your whispered words or your silent contemplation. Either way, this is pillow talk. This is the conversation that happens when the world shrinks down to just you and this moment and this soft place where your head rests. You think about all the pillow talk you've had over a lifetime, all the conversations, all the confessions, all the dreams shared and fears acknowledged. all the plans made and promises whispered. Some of those promises were kept. You remember the pillow talk where you promised to love someone forever, where you meant it absolutely, where you couldn't imagine a future without them. Maybe that promise was kept. Maybe that person is beside you now, decades later. They're breathing familiar, their presence constant. Or maybe that promise was broken. Maybe that person is long gone. Maybe the forever you promised lasted only a few years or a few months. Maybe you learned that promises made in darkness don't always survive daylight. You've had pillow talk with multiple people over your lifetime, most likely. Different partners, different eras of your life. Each person brought different conversations, different dreams, different fears. You remember comparing them sometimes, noticing how different the pillow talk was with different people, how some people wanted to solve problems during pillow talk, wanted to analyze and strategize and fix things. How exhausting that was, how it turned rest time into work time, how other people wanted to avoid anything serious during pillow talk, wanted to keep everything light and surface level. How frustrating that was, how it prevented real connection. The best pillow talk happened with people who could balance both, who could be serious when something mattered, but light when heaviness wasn't needed, who could listen without trying to fix, who could share without demanding solutions. Those were rare people. You've probably only had pillow talk like that with a few people in your entire life. Maybe only one, maybe none. Maybe you're still searching for that kind of connection. Or maybe you've stopped searching. Maybe you've accepted that pillow talk with yourself is enough, that you don't need another person in this space, that you've learned to provide your own comfort, your own listening ear, your own gentle presence in the darkness. There's wisdom in that acceptance. There's peace in it. You've earned this peace. After all the years of seeking connection with others, of trying to find someone who could meet you in pillow talk the way you needed to be met, you've learned to meet yourself. You've become both the speaker and the listener, both the vulnerable one and the supportive one. You hold both roles simultaneously. This is what seasoned hearts do. They learn self-sufficiency, not because connection with others isn't valuable, but because they've learned not to depend on others for what they can provide themselves. Your heart has been seasoned by time, by experience, by love and loss and everything in between. It's not the same heart you had at 20 or 30 or even 40. It's been changed by every pillow talk you've ever had, every vulnerability you've shared, every trust that's been honored or broken, every dream that's been realized or abandoned. This seasoned heart knows things the younger heart didn't know. It knows that pillow talk is a privilege, not a right. It knows that intimacy requires courage and discretion in equal measure. It knows that some conversations are only possible in darkness, that some truths only emerge when you're horizontal and tired and too exhausted to maintain pretense. Your pillow has absorbed your seasoned heart's wisdom over the years. It knows your patterns. It knows when you're processing grief, when you're celebrating joy, when you're wrestling with regret, when you're planning for whatever future remains. The pillow doesn't judge. It simply supports. It holds your head night after night, year after year, decade after decade. It witnesses your aging, your changing, your becoming. You press your face into this pillow differently now than you did years ago. Your body has changed. Your sleep positions have evolved. What was once comfortable no longer works. You've had to adapt, find new positions, different angles, more support here, less pressure there. This adaptation is its own kind of wisdom. Learning to work with the body you have rather than the body you remember. Learning to find comfort in new ways. Learning that change doesn't mean loss, just difference. Your pillow talk reflects this wisdom now. You don't talk about the same things you talked about decades ago. The content has shifted. The concerns have evolved. You're not whispering about career ambitions or which house to buy or whether to have children. Those decisions are long made. Those chapters are written. Now your pillow talk is about different things, about what legacy you're leaving, about relationships you want to repair before it's too late, about whether you've lived the life you meant to live, about what remains to be done with whatever time is left. These are the conversations of seasoned hearts, not dramatic, not urgent, just honest, just real, just the quiet acknowledgement of where you are in life's arc. You're closer to the end than the beginning now. You know this. Your pillow knows this. Your nighttime conversations reflect this awareness. Not morbidly, not fearfully, just factually. You've lived most of your life. The bulk of your story is written. You're in the final chapters now. This changes the nature of pillow talk, makes it more reflective, more evaluative, more focused on meaning and mattering and making peace. You think about the people you've lost, the ones who used to share pillow talk with you, the ones who are gone now. You remember their voices in the darkness, the particular things they said, the way they laughed or cried or fell silent. You can't talk to them anymore, can't share your current thoughts with them, can't hear their perspective on your life now. They're gone. Their pillows hold other heads now, or no heads at all. Their nighttime conversations have ended. This loss sits heavy sometimes, particularly at night. Particularly when you're lying here wishing you could have just one more pillow talk with someone who's gone. One more conversation. One more chance to say things left unsaid or hear things you never got to hear. The pillow absorbs this grief, this longing, this ache for voices that have been silenced. It holds your head while you cry for people who will never share this space again. It supports you through the particular loneliness of being the one who's still here, still having pillow talk, still processing and reflecting and trying to make sense of things. You have pillow talk with the dead sometimes. You whisper to them in the darkness. Tell them things you wish you'd said when they were alive. Ask them questions you'll never get answered. Confess things you never had the courage to confess when they could hear you. This might seem strange to someone who hasn't experienced it, but you know it's normal. You know that seasoned hearts often have their most important pillow talk with people who are no longer physically present. The pillow doesn't judge this either. It receives your words, whether they're directed at the living or the dead. It holds your head while you speak into darkness, hoping somehow your words reach the people you've lost. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. Either way, saying the words matters. Getting them out of your mind and into the air matters. The pillow facilitates this. makes it possible, provides the soft support you need while you do this difficult, necessary work. You talk to your younger self sometimes too, during pillow talk. You offer advice that younger self needed but didn't get. You provide comfort to the younger you who was struggling in ways you didn't understand at the time. This is another gift of seasoned hearts. The ability to parent your own younger selves, to go back through memory and offer the support that was missing, to acknowledge the pain that was minimized, to celebrate the victories that went unnoticed. Your pillow receives these conversations too, these gentle, retroactive acts of self-care, these attempts to heal old wounds by speaking to them directly, by acknowledging them, by offering yourself the comfort others couldn't or wouldn't provide. You tell your younger self that they did okay, that they survived, that the choices they made, however imperfect, led you here, to this moment, to this pillow, to this life that, despite everything, has been worth living. Sometimes you're not sure you believe these reassurances. Sometimes you question whether you did okay, whether your choices were good enough, whether your life has been worth living. The pillow holds these doubts too, these moments of uncertainty, these periods of questioning that come more frequently as you age and realize how limited your time is. You don't have to have all the answers during pillow talk. You don't have to resolve everything. You just have to be honest. The pillow asks only for honesty, for whatever truth is present in this moment. If the truth is doubt, then doubt. If the truth is peace, then peace. If the truth is confusion, then confusion. All of it is acceptable. All of it is part of being human, part of having a seasoned heart that's lived long enough to know how complicated everything is. You've learned that complexity is okay, that you don't have to simplify your life into neat categories of good and bad, success and failure, right and wrong. Your pillow talk can hold all the contradictions, all the paradoxes, all the ways that multiple truths exist simultaneously. You can be grateful for your life and wish some things had been different. You can love people and acknowledge they hurt you. You can have regrets and still accept the path you've walked. You can be at peace and still feel grief. The pillow receives all of it, every contradiction, every complexity, every nuanced truth that defies simple explanation. This is the pillow talk of seasoned hearts. Not simple, not tidy, not resolved, just honest, just real, just the truth of a life fully lived, with all its messiness and beauty and pain and joy existing together in this quiet darkness. You shift your position now. Adjust the pillow. Find a more comfortable angle. This small movement. You've done it millions of times, but tonight you notice it differently. You notice how automatically your body knows what to do, how your hands adjust the pillow without conscious thought, how your head finds the right position through muscle memory. Your body has been having pillow talk with this pillow for years, a conversation conducted through touch and adjustment and accommodation. The pillow learns your preferences. You learn its capabilities. Together, you create comfort through this ongoing dialogue between body and object. This too is a kind of intimacy, a kind of relationship. You and this pillow have been together through so much, through good nights and bad nights, through peaceful rest and restless anxiety, through dreams and nightmares, through every night you've shared this space. The pillow has been consistent, reliable, present. It's shown up every single night. It's never left. It's never disappointed you. It's provided what it could provide and accepted its limitations gracefully. There's something to learn from that. From the pillow's steady, undemanding presence. From its willingness to simply be what it is. To offer support without needing recognition. To hold your head without requiring gratitude. To witness your pillow talk without judgment or interference. Maybe this is what peaceful presence looks like. Maybe this is what you're seeking in relationships, in connections, in community. Not people who try to fix you or change you or make you be different. Just people who can be present the way this pillow is present. Supportive, accepting, quietly reliable. You've found a few people like this over your lifetime. People who could offer pillow talk level presence, who could simply be with you without needing you to be different. Those people are precious, rare, worth cherishing. If you have even one person like this in your life right now, you're fortunate, you're blessed. You found something many people spend entire lifetimes searching for. If you don't have anyone like this, that's okay too. You have yourself. You have this pillow. You have this nighttime space where you can be completely honest, where you can speak or not speak, where you can process or simply exist. This is enough. This has to be enough, because this is what you have. And seasoned hearts know how to work with what they have, how to find peace in present circumstances rather than always longing for different ones. Your pillow talk tonight is peaceful. Not because everything in your life is resolved. Not because you've figured everything out. Not because you have no worries or concerns or griefs. But because you've learned to be at peace with unresolved things, with unanswered questions, with mysteries that won't be solved, with losses that won't be recovered. Peace doesn't mean the absence of difficulty. It means the presence of acceptance, the willingness to be with what is, rather than constantly fighting for what isn't. Your seasoned heart has learned this, has earned this, has paid the price of years and experience to arrive at this understanding. The pillow supports your seasoned heart. Literally, your head rests here, your heart beats below. The pillow holds both. Physical support and symbolic significance intertwined. You close your eyes now. Let your breathing slow. Let your body relax into the bed. Let the pillow do its work. Supporting, witnessing, simply being present while you engage in this peaceful pillow talk with yourself, with your memories, with your life as it's been lived, with your future as it remains to be lived, with this moment, this breath, this heartbeat, this gentle darkness that asks nothing from you except to rest. You're lying here in the darkness, and the house is quiet around you. That particular kind of quiet that only comes late at night, when the world outside has finally stopped demanding things from you, when the phone won't ring, when no one needs anything, when it's just you and the pillow beneath your head and the thoughts that rise in the stillness. This is Pillow Talk. but not the kind you had when you were young. Not the whispered conversations of new lovers discovering each other in the dark. Not the excited planning of futures that seemed limitless. Not the passionate declarations or the nervous confessions. This is different. This is the pillow talk of seasoned hearts. Hearts that have loved and lost. Hearts that have hoped and grieved. Hearts that have been broken and somehow kept beating anyway. Hearts that know things now. Deep things. True things. Hard things. Your head rests against the pillow, and it holds you the way it always has. Patient, consistent, unchanged by everything that's changed you. The pillow doesn't judge what you think in these quiet hours. It doesn't interrupt. It doesn't offer solutions or platitudes. It just receives. It just listens. It just holds your head while your mind wanders through the landscape of a life lived long enough to understand what matters. You remember pillow talk from earlier times. You remember being young and lying beside someone, your faces inches apart in the darkness, sharing secrets. The kind of secrets that felt enormous then, but seem small now. Who you had a crush on, what you were afraid of, what you wanted to become, the future spreading out before you like an unmapped country, full of possibility and promise. You believed everything was possible then. You believed love would conquer all. You believed hard work would be rewarded. You believed good things happened to good people. You believed the world made sense if you could just figure out the right formula. You believed you had time, so much time, an endless supply of it. You whispered these beliefs into the darkness, into the space between your pillow and theirs. You made promises. You declared intentions. You planned decades that hadn't happened yet. And you believed every word because you were young and you didn't know yet how life actually works. The pillow heard all of it. Every naive declaration, every earnest promise, every confident prediction about a future you couldn't possibly foresee. And the pillow held you through it all without telling you that most of it wouldn't happen the way you thought. That life had other plans, that the person beside you might not stay, that the future you were planning would be unrecognizable compared to the one you'd actually live. You grew older. The pillow talk changed. You lay beside different people, or the same person who had become different. You whispered different things. Worries about money, concerns about children, frustrations with work. The daily irritations that build up when you share a life with someone. The small resentments, the larger disappointments. The gradual realization that happily ever after requires constant effort and doesn't feel nearly as magical as the stories suggested. You had hard conversations in the dark. Arguments conducted in harsh whispers so the children wouldn't hear. Accusations, defenses, the terrible things people say to each other when they're tired and scared and don't know how to fix what's broken. Words you regret now. Words that can't be taken back. Words that change things between you and whoever was sharing that pillow space. The pillow absorbed those words too. It held your head while you said things you didn't mean and things you meant too much. It stayed steady while everything else felt unstable. While your relationship fractured or healed or limped along in that uncomfortable middle space between thriving and ending. You also had tender conversations, late-night talks after making love, quiet processing of the day's events, shared worries about aging parents, mutual celebration of children's achievements, the building of intimacy that comes from years of pillow talk, from lying beside someone long enough to develop a shorthand, to understand each other's silences, to know what the other needs without asking. Those conversations built something, created something. The accumulation of thousands of nights of pillow talk constructed a relationship that was bigger than either of you individually, a shared life, a partnership, something that existed in the space between your pillow and theirs. If that person is still beside you, you know how rare this is, how lucky. You've watched other couples separate. You've attended funerals. You've seen relationships end in betrayal or boredom or simply the slow drift apart that happens when people change in different directions. You've survived what many didn't, and your pillow talk now carries the weight of that survival, the gratitude, the awareness that this could have gone differently, that you're fortunate to still have someone to whisper to in the darkness. Your conversations are different now than they were decades ago. Quieter, less urgent. You don't need to process every detail of the day anymore. You don't need to make plans for a distant future. You talk about smaller things, immediate things, how you're feeling, what you need, whether you remembered to take your medication, whether tomorrow's doctor appointment is at 9 or 10. This might seem mundane to younger people. It might seem like you've lost the romance, but they don't understand yet. They don't know that there's profound intimacy in these simple exchanges, in the trust required to be vulnerable about aging bodies and failing memories, in the tenderness of checking on each other's well-being, in the shorthand developed over decades of shared pillow talk. You reach for each other in the darkness, not with passion necessarily, sometimes just with presence, a hand on a shoulder, a foot touching a foot. The simple confirmation that you're both still here, still together, still choosing each other after all these years. Your pillow talk includes silence now in ways it didn't before. Comfortable silence, the kind that doesn't need filling. You can lie beside each other, heads on respective pillows, and not speak at all. And this silence is its own form of communication. It says, I'm here, you're here. This is enough. But if you're alone now, if there's no one on the pillow beside yours, the silence feels different, heavier, more absolute. Your pillow talk has become internal, a conversation with yourself, with your memories, with the people who used to share this space but don't anymore. You lie here and remember the weight of another head on the adjacent pillow, the sound of their breathing, the particular way they settled into sleep, the comfort of not being alone in the darkness. These memories are vivid. They play out against your closed eyelids. They fill the empty space beside you with ghosts of what was. Maybe they're gone because you separated, because the relationship that seemed permanent proved it wasn't, because love wasn't enough, or because love died, or because one of you made choices the other couldn't accept. You lie here remembering the last pillow talk conversations, the ones where everything was already ending, where you both knew but were pretending you didn't, where words felt useless because the decision had already been made silently. Those final pillow talks hurt to remember. The forced normalcy, the careful distance, the things you didn't say because saying them would make it all too real. You remember the last night before one of you left. Whether you knew it was the last night, or whether you discovered that later. Whether you had one final conversation, or whether you avoided conversation entirely. The pillow holds these memories. Every goodbye that happened here, every relationship that ended in this bed, every person who shared this space and then didn't. The pillow is a witness to loss, to the particular grief of intimacy withdrawn, of space that was filled becoming empty. Or maybe they're gone because they died, because mortality claimed them before it claimed you. And your pillow talk now is entirely one-sided. You lie here and speak to someone who can't answer. You share your day with someone who isn't there to hear it. You reach across to their pillow and find it cold, undisturbed, a monument to absence. This is perhaps the loneliest pillow talk of all. The conversation with the dead, the desperate hope that somehow they can still hear you, that the love you built together exists somewhere, even though they don't exist here anymore. You tell them things, you ask them things, you wait for answers that never come. You remember the last pillow talk you had with them, when they were still alive but failing, when they were still beside you but already leaving. You remember what you said, what you didn't say, what you wish you'd said. The words hang in the air between your pillow and their empty one, permanent, unchangeable, forever unresolved. Your pillow is damp some nights, tears soaking into the fabric, grief expressed in the only place where you allow it fully. During the day, you hold yourself together. You function, you manage, you put on whatever face is required. But at night, head on pillow, in the privacy of darkness, you can fall apart. You can cry for what you've lost. You can acknowledge the enormity of continuing alone. The pillow absorbs this grief without judgment. It doesn't tell you to move on. It doesn't suggest you should be over it by now. It doesn't compare your grief to anyone else's or suggest that time heals all wounds. It just receives your tears, holds your head, stays present while you break. You've learned that grief doesn't end. It changes. It becomes something you carry rather than something that carries you. But it doesn't disappear. And your pillow talk includes it now, includes the missing, includes the remembering, includes the ongoing conversation with someone who's gone but who still exists in your heart and mind and in the words you speak into the darkness. Even if you're not grieving a specific person, you're grieving something. Your pillow talk at this age always includes loss, loss of youth, loss of ability, loss of the future you imagined, loss of people who've drifted away, loss of versions of yourself you'll never be again. You lie here and acknowledge what's gone. The body you used to have, the energy you used to possess, the confidence you used to feel, the dreams you used to chase, all of it faded or abandoned or proven impossible. Your pillow holds your head while you process these losses, while you make peace with what you'll never have, with who you'll never become. But your pillow talk isn't only about loss. Seasoned hearts know how to hold joy and sorrow simultaneously. How to grieve what's gone while appreciating what remains. Your conversations with yourself in the darkness include gratitude too. Deep, earned gratitude. You're grateful to be here, to have made it this far, to still have a pillow to rest your head on, to still have thoughts to think and memories to process and breath moving through your body. This isn't nothing. This is everything. You're alive. After everything you've survived, you're still alive. You think about the people who aren't here anymore, friends who died young, family members who didn't make it to this age, people you've lost along the way who would give anything to have one more night, one more pillow, one more chance to lie in the darkness and think their thoughts and feel their feelings. You have what they don't. You have this moment, this breath, this night. Your pillow talk includes this awareness now, the preciousness of ordinary moments, the gift of another day completed, the simple miracle of consciousness continuing. You don't take it for granted the way you did when you were young. You can't. You know too much now about how quickly it can all end. You're grateful for the small comforts, the pillow that supports your neck just right, the temperature of the room, the softness of the sheets, the fact that you're not in pain, or if you are, that it's manageable tonight. The fact that you have a home, a bed, safety, privacy. These things aren't guaranteed. You know people who don't have them. You know how fortunate you are. You're grateful for memories, for the life you've lived, for the experiences you've had. Even the hard ones shaped you. Even the painful ones taught you something. Your pillow talk traces through decades of accumulated wisdom. Lessons learned, mistakes made and learned from, challenges survived, growth achieved through suffering. You know things now that you couldn't have known at 20 or 30 or even 40. You know that most things don't matter as much as they seem to in the moment. You know that people are more important than accomplishments. You know that kindness matters more than being right. You know that time is the most precious resource, and you wasted so much of it on things that didn't deserve it. You know that love is complicated, that it requires constant choice and effort, that it's not enough on its own, but it's still the most important thing, that losing it hurts more than anything else, that having it, really having it, is worth every risk and every difficulty and every moment of vulnerability required to build it. You know that your body will betray you, that aging is humbling and frustrating and sometimes humiliating, that independence you took for granted will gradually or suddenly be taken away, that you'll need help eventually, that dignity in old age requires acceptance of limitations you never imagined would apply to you. You know that death is coming, not as an abstract concept, but as a concrete reality. You think about it more now. In these pillow talk hours, you wonder when, you wonder how, you wonder what it will feel like, you wonder if you'll be ready, you wonder what comes after, or if nothing comes after. You wonder who'll miss you. You wonder what you'll leave behind. This isn't morbid. It's realistic. Your pillow talk has a room for death now, because death is closer. It's no longer a distant possibility, but an approaching certainty. And thinking about it, talking to yourself about it, processing it in the darkness. This is how you prepare, how you make peace, how you integrate this final truth into your understanding of life. You think about what you want for the end, who you want there, what you want said or not said, where you want to be. You think about the pillow you'll rest your head on for the last time, whether it will be this one or a different one, whether you'll know it's the last time, whether you'll have the chance for final pillow talk with the people you love. You make decisions in these quiet hours about what matters, about how you want to spend whatever time remains, about relationships you need to repair, about words you need to say, about forgiveness you need to offer or seek, about letting go of grievances that don't serve you, about prioritizing connection over pride. Your pillow talk has become a form of life review, a processing of decades, an integration of all you've experienced into some kind of coherent narrative. You're trying to make sense of the story, to find the thread that connects beginning to middle to approaching end, to understand what it's all meant, to locate meaning in the chaos. Some nights you find it, the meaning, the through line, the reason. You see how everything connected, how the hard times prepared you for later challenges, how the losses taught you to appreciate what remained, how the mistakes led to wisdom, how the pain led to compassion, how everything, even the terrible things, somehow served the journey. Those nights you rest easier. Your pillow talk concludes with a sense of peace, of acceptance, of gratitude for the whole messy, beautiful, painful, joyful journey. You close your eyes, feeling complete, feeling like your life, however imperfect, has been enough, has meant something, has mattered. Other nights you can't find the meaning. The narrative doesn't cohere. The suffering seems pointless. The losses seem cruel. The time seems wasted. Your pillow talk circles without resolution, questions without answers, grief without comfort, regret without redemption. The pillow holds you through those nights too. It doesn't require you to find meaning. It doesn't demand resolution. It accepts your confusion, your anger, your sorrow, your inability to make it all make sense. It stays steady while you struggle, while you fail to find peace, while you wrestle with the incomprehensible nature of existence. And eventually, even on those nights, exhaustion comes. Your pillow talk winds down, not because you've resolved anything, but because your mind grows tired, because your body needs rest even if your soul doesn't feel rested. Because sleep claims you whether you've made peace or not. You've learned to accept this too, that not every night ends in resolution, that not every conversation reaches a conclusion, that sometimes you just have to stop thinking and trust that tomorrow might offer clarity that tonight couldn't provide. Your pillow has witnessed thousands of these nights, thousands of conversations, thousands of struggles and acceptances and grievings and gratitudes. It knows you better than anyone. It's held your head through every phase of your life. It's absorbed your tears and your sweat and the physical evidence of your humanity. It's been there for the best nights, the ones where you fell asleep feeling loved and safe and content, the ones where everything felt right, where you were exactly where you needed to be, with exactly who you needed to be with, where life felt generous and kind and full of grace. And it's been there for the worst nights, the ones where you thought you couldn't survive until morning, the ones where pain or grief or fear seemed unsurvivable, the ones where you prayed for relief or for it all to just end, the ones where you held on by the thinnest thread. The pillow doesn't distinguish between these nights. It serves equally through all of them. It's a constant in a life of variables. It's a steady presence in a world of change. It's a witness that never leaves. Tonight your head rests against it once more. One more night added to thousands. One more pillow talk session in a lifetime of conversations. One more opportunity to think and feel and process and integrate and simply be present with yourself in the darkness. You're tired now, not just physically, tired of thinking, tired of remembering, tired of processing. Your pillow talk has covered enough ground for tonight. You've visited enough memories. You've felt enough feelings. You've asked enough questions. It's time to rest. Time to let your mind quiet. Time to release the conversation and allow sleep to come if it will. Time to trust that the pillow will hold you through the night the way it always has. Time to surrender to the darkness and whatever it brings. Your seasoned heart has earned this rest. It's worked hard. It's loved deeply. It's survived losses. It's adapted to changes. It's kept beating through everything. It deserves gentleness now, compassion, the kindness of allowing it to simply rest. You adjust your pillow slightly, finding the perfect position, the one where your neck is supported just right, where you can fully relax, where you can let go. This familiar adjustment, this small act of self-care, this preparation for sleep. The house is quiet around you. The world is still. This moment belongs to you and you alone. Your pillow talk can end now. The conversation can pause. The thinking can stop. You can simply be here. Head on pillow. Body in bed. Breath moving slowly in and out. You're safe. You're home. You're exactly where you need to be. Whatever tomorrow brings, tonight you can rest. Whatever challenges await, tonight you can let them wait. Whatever grief remains, tonight you can set it down. Your pillow receives your head one more time. Your seasoned heart beats steadily in your chest. Your eyes close, your breath deepens, your body relaxes. The pillow talk fades into silence, into stillness, into the peaceful quiet of a mind finally at rest. You've lived long enough to know that this is precious, this moment of peace, this ability to rest, this simple comfort of a pillow beneath your head and a safe place to sleep and another night to survive, or surrender to, or simply experience. You're here. You're alive. You're resting now. And that's enough. That's everything. That's all you need to be in this moment. The pillow holds you as you drift, as your thoughts scatter, as sleep approaches. It's held you through your whole life and it holds you now. Steady, constant, patient, waiting with you for whatever comes next. The fires die down, the stories settle, and the world grows still. Let your thoughts drift away like embers on the wind. Good night. You've journeyed far through time tonight. Now it's time to journey into dreams. Close your eyes, breathe, and let sleep find you.